In a small, quiet town, Mark lived as an unassuming librarian, known for his calm and kind demeanor, but no one knew of the darkness hiding within. At night, Mark walked the empty streets, his shadow long and his face unreadable. Behind his calm exterior, something was stirring. Gruesome murders were discovered, blood-stained walls and cryptic symbols carved in ritualistic patterns, but no trace of the killer. Years ago, Mark's car overturned in a dense forest. Crawling out of the wreckage, he felt disoriented and terrified. Through the thick trees, a shadowy figure with glowing eyes appeared. Its presence felt otherworldly and overwhelming. As the figure reached out, Mark clutched his head in pain. A dark force entered him, leaving glowing symbols behind. In every murder scene, the killer left symbols and eerie artifacts that confounded the police. It was as if he wanted to be found. Detective O'Connor studied the case obsessively. His office walls were covered with maps, photos, and red threads connecting every clue. A pocket watch dropped at the latest crime scene gave the police their first solid lead in years. Mark fled into the forest, but the woods seemed alive, their shadows twisting unnaturally as if trying to trap him. Running desperately, Mark felt the darkness closing in. The trees stretched tall and menacing, their branches clawing at him. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes stalked him from the shadows. Its long, twisted limbs reached out like death itself. At dawn, Mark found himself in a foggy clearing. His abandoned tent was surrounded by massive, unnatural footprints. Clutching a flashlight, Mark stood frozen in terror. The dark seemed alive, and he could feel its gaze upon him. Looking down, Mark saw the enormous footprints circling closer, as if the beast had been toying with him all along. A skeletal figure with glowing red eyes and twisted limbs lurched forward. Its movements were unnatural and terrifying. Mark ran desperately, the creature in pursuit. Its glowing eyes and monstrous limbs closed the distance with terrifying speed. Collapsing on the forest floor, Mark looked back in horror. The creature towered over him, its twisted limbs stretching out to claim him. At the forest's edge, Mark lay motionless. The creature dissolved into the shadows, leaving behind glowing symbols as a reminder of its curse. Detective O'Connor arrived hours later. Staring at the strange symbols, he knew this was no ordinary case. The forest held secrets far darker than he imagined. As the sun set, the forest reclaimed its prey. The red lights flickered deep within, a warning to all who dared enter.